won 5-1 by the end of it. They shut down this potent Bombers offense, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as the game goes on. But it was all fishes in game one, so the Bombers are going to be looking to even up this series here at their home field of Big City Stadium, a place where they've had pretty good luck all season at home. And I want to welcome to the broadcast my color announcer for the evening, DLW. How you doing tonight, DLW?
Oh, I'm doing great. Any night that we bring you backyard baseball on Twitch is a great night. We have World Series Game 2 between Hciii and CRK. And that makes it one of the best nights possible. I'm excited.
I am super excited as well. I mean, again, if you weren't here for game one and you didn't catch the rundown of these two teams, this is a rematch of last season's humongous league World Series. HC3, excuse me, had a 2-0 lead in that series and then lost 3 straight games. And CRK and the Bombers walked away with the championship. So, will CRK win back to back? Will the Fishes get their redemption? We'll have to find out. This is game 2 coming at you live in just a few seconds as the coaches seem like they're ready to start. So we just have to get our get the screen over, and then we should be good to go. All right, it seems like we've got that set up. Although, right as we say that, so this seems like the same problem we had in game number one. In game number one, for some reason, it was showing Billie Jean Blackwood was boosted. Her stats were buffed when she should be nerfed, since CRK also has Marky DuBois. Now, it seemed like they troubleshooted that issue, and when the game started, she did not have buffed stats, although it seems like when they were setting it up as we were doing that intro, it seems like we're back to having the same issue.
Yeah, I did notice that was something CRK was drawing attention to. I don't know if you guys could see it yet on Twitch, but behind the scenes, we were looking at CRK's screen and he was pointing that out to us. But as soon as they get ready to go again, we will bring you baseball.
Absolutely, and hopefully they figure it out. They figure it out soon. Because you certainly, I certainly wouldn't want to play against a boosted Billie Jean Blackwood. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I see we've got... See there, so... CRK will call, and...
So while we're waiting for them to figure out this little mishap, I'll give you a little bit more background information on game one if you were not able to watch that on Friday night or you didn't go back and rewatch the VOD here on Twitch. So as I mentioned, the Fishes, they hit 4 home runs off of the Bombers. 2 of them were inside the park home runs. Barry Bonds had an inside the park home run. Cheryl Reynolds, the MVP, had 2 home runs herself, adding on to her total. That gives her 5 home runs for the playoffs and 15 home runs on the year, which is just an incredible stat. Kimmy Ekman, of all players, hit a home run. Now, of course, she is boosted when she's playing in her own backyard, but the boost isn't really known as a power boost, but she hit an absolute nuke. I believe it was over 400 feet by the time it landed. So all cylinders were clicking for the Fishes offense. And for the Bombers, it was kind of the opposite. Their offense that had been super, super potent all playoffs, they had been scoring a ton of runs in their two previous playoff series. Their bats went ice cold. Their big 2-3-4 hitters in their lineup, Lance Lambert, Sally Dobbs, and Horace Young, who had 20 RBIs in the first 5 playoff games for the Bombers. They were combined 0 for 8 in game number 1. And for a team that led the Humongous League in extra base hits, they only had 1 extra base hit. That was a Veronica Lee double, which is not surprising considering Veronica Lee led the Humongous League in doubles, along with Rose Flugel, of course, we can't forget that. But 1 extra base hit in game 1 for a team that averaged an extra base hit every 3 hits. So it was just night and day for the Bombers. Really, the first time they've faced good opposition in this playoffs. They did lose a game to Whiffspree in the quarterfinals. That was more of a shootout, though. So this is really the first time that they had been stifled by another team's pitching staff. So I want to ask you a question, DLW, while we still have some time to kill. Fishes took game 1. They looked really, really good, but you can never count out CRK, and we certainly don't anticipate this series to be over in 3 games. So now that the Bombers are back home, what are some of your predictions for game 2 that we should hopefully be getting started soon?
Well, I'll start at the easy. CRK is known to use multiple pitchers in a game. CRK has, of his current roster, 6 of them pitched in the regular season, and some players who were traded away during the season also pitched. His pitcher that faced the most batters is not currently on his roster. He'll use a combination of Markey and Lance and Sally and Francis and possibly Horace and Hciii. So Hciii has to figure out how he's going to hit against any and all of the players on the Bombers as the call is being placed, so we're very close to some baseball.
Yes, hopefully when they load in here in a second, it'll all look correct. And yes, to piggyback off what you were saying, it is a carousel of pitchers for the Bombers. The Marquis Dubois is usually the starter, the opener, if you will, and he's pitched the bulk of the innings, but Lance Lambert has also pitched about 17 or so innings. Sally Dobbs is over 10 innings now. Francis Bluer has pitched a little bit in these playoffs. And it's been working out for him so far in the playoffs, but that carousel of pitchers kind of got beat up a little bit, especially Sally Dobbs. She gave up several home runs in the previous game, in game 1, and I don't know if the issue was resolved. Apparently, it looks like Billie Jean is still buffed.
I would say just to try it again. I think just last time they just went with it and it recorrected when they actually played the game.
It did, yes. That's true. So yeah, that they really should just start it, pause it, and go in. Cause
I would say let's try to play some baseball. But CRK will move his defenders around, switch pitchers, and have a lot of different things defensively that will try to prevent as many runs as possible from the Fishes and MVP Cheryl Reynolds especially. So I think CRK will be able to use that to his advantage in game 2 at home, but we'll see how it goes, as hopefully we're about to start a baseball game.
Yes, and as you say that, as you talk about moving CRK moving his players around, on my spotting board that I keep in front of me with some key statistics and the lineups, Usually I have defensive positionings. For CRK, it's blank. I don't even attempt to fill in where I think his defenders are going to be playing, because even if I get it correct and they're starting where I think they're going to start, give it a couple of batters and they'll probably be in a new position. So he is quite the I guess I can say coach. He likes to coach. He likes to really mix it up, move his players around. As it seems like we're getting really close.
I'm gonna smoke this one by like a bossy cow in a turnip.
Let's see. I don't think this is going to be a real start. I think we're going to start and then get a pause to double check, and hopefully it's good.
The coach calls timeout.
As there's a pause, drum roll please. And no, she is still.
It was a no.
She is still seeing a buff.
Well, if you're looking to figure out which of CRK's players is where, he does have 9 players with 9 unique faces, so it's not like you're looking at like 5 blonde girls.
That's true. That's true. Thankfully, he is, which I feel like is rare. I feel like most teams have at least 2 characters with the same design. At least it feels that way when I'm calling the games.
Yeah. Like, for example, the Fishes have Perry Marks and Felix Grant. And if you don't know how to tell them apart, join the club.
That's very true, and it seems like the coaches have agreed to just play it. Are gonna get to play with a slightly buffed Billie Jean Blackwood. We'll see if that makes a difference. Although I say that, and now they're still discussing it. They are really building the anticipation for this game.
I get it. It's the World Series. You want to take it seriously. And, of course, Hciii is up 1-0. This is game 2. Are we going to get baseball?
I think we might be getting baseball. I don't know. Although, and did we get baseball? Yes, we get baseball. So finally, after a lengthy delay, game 2 is underway, and first pitch swinging is Mr. Clanky, but right there is Horace Young running over and making the catch. So Mr. Clanky, who was one of the few Fishes who had a quiet offensive outing, he was 0 for 3. I say he. It was 0 for 3 in game number 1, and now 0 for 1 to start game 2. So yet to record a hit in the World Series, but definitely has a hit in the World Series is this player, Barry Bonds. And then right as I say that, he grounds out to Billie Jean. Buff or not, she was all over that, as she is a wall at first base. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for Marquis Dubois. A much better start on defense than game 1 for the Bombers, and that brings up the MVP, Cheryl Reynolds, who takes finally the first ball of the game. Too tall for the center fielder, and it's 1-0 now. The pitch. This one goes from too high to too low, and definitely pitching carefully to Cheryl Reynolds, who had 2 home runs in game 1, as that is another pitch well above the zone. So Cheryl Reynolds most likely not going to see a pitch to hit. And with the bases empty and 2 outs, it's an understandable move to a player that burned you twice in game 1. And there is a 4-pitch walk, and Cheryl Reynolds will take her base.
CRK taking the risk of letting her take first base rather than having her get more than 1 base.
So we'll see if Perry Marks can make the Bombers pay for that intentional walk, as another ball is pitched. So 5 balls in a row for Marquis Dubois. after 2 pitches and 2 outs.
Ball 2.
And then another ball,
2
so
out.
no strikes here in the last 6 pitches.
From the windup and the delivery.
You don't want to walk a batter into scoring position, but they're a pitch away from doing that. That's another pitch too high, and it's another batter 3-0, and this one I don't think is intentional.
And the count is
But there's a strike at the bottom middle of the zone. So still a hitter's count here for Perry at the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and on a line to left center, ranging over is Sally and Horace. Who's going to make the catch? One of the two. I think it was Horace. But that could have gotten down and could have been trouble. But the defense makes the play. The Fishes do not score in their half of the first inning. And so we head to the bottom of the first, with the Bombers getting their first crack on it and switching their lineup a little bit as Frances Bluer is leading off. She takes strike 1 from Lisa Crockett and then swings at the next pitch, and that's going to be trouble. A soft liner up the third base line, and safe at first is Frances Bluer running it out. So the first hit of the day for the Bombers, and they've got their first batter on, so this is already a much better start. And then swinging at the first pitch is Veronica Lee. Over to Kimmy Ekman at third. She has to dive, and because of that, Veronica Lee, although may have made it even if she didn't have to dive. And so all of a sudden, 2 on, nobody out for Lance Lambert, the power threat of the Bombers. As the first pitch from Lisa Crockett to Lance is outside for ball 1. And then the second pitch swung on and to left field. Is that going to get down? It is! Trouble with it is the left fielder. The relay to Kimmy Ekman. Going home is Frances, and it knocks Kimmy Ekman over, and the Bombers take an early lead. It's 1-0.
Very quick offense from the Bombers. 3 straight hits.
So Lance Lambert, who did not have a hit in game 1, immediately remedies that and has an RBI single, and they're not done yet. It is 2 on, still nobody out, and it's Sally Dobbs, who is now behind 0-2 as she looks for her first hit of the World Series, and that is not it. That is a looking strikeout, a good pitch from Lisa Crockett to finally get the first out. And that brings up Horace Young, who made that nice catch there in the top half of the first inning. Another batter who I mentioned did not have a hit in game 1 of the World Series, so would be a good time for him to get a hit here with a runner in scoring position and a speedy Veronica Lee at that, as a swing and a miss. So now he's down, no balls, 2 strikes. So Lisa Crockett doing a good job here, these last 2 batters, of getting it into the strike zone early and often, as that one's fouled away to keep the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Lisa sets and fires, and that is an easy take, as that was well below the zone. So 1-2 now. Horace swings and a ground ball left side. Barry Bonds picks it up, goes to 2 for 1, and then goes to first, safe. The throw home in time. Oh, they were trying to turn the double play. They got the out at second. They went to first, safe for first, but then the relay to home beat Veronica Lee, and it's an unconventional double play that ends the inning.
Not the double play they were expecting, but double play, and they got out of it.
It's a double play nonetheless. Absolutely. They will not complain about that. So the Bombers do get 1, so they have an early lead here, as Jorge Garcia steps up to the plate, and he's down, no balls, 2 strikes. Marky DuBois staying on the mound after a fairly efficient first inning. Only had to throw 11 pitches, including a walk. And that is strike 3, looking on the inside corner. So the first strikeout of the day for the Bombers. So with 1 out and bases empty, that brings up the third baseman today, Kimmy Ekman. And while she certainly should be a better hitter when she's at her home park of Ekman Acres, because she gets a boost, believe it or not, she actually has better offensive splits playing on the road than she did at home. She had a slightly higher average and more hits in the regular season away than she did in her own backyard, as she fouls that one away, and counts now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The 1-2.
The windup from Markey.
The right.
And another strikeout, back-to-back looking Ks.
Cool.
And Markey DuBois, the Fishes, who only struck out 2 times in game number 1, have struck out back-to-back times here in the top of the 2nd inning.
From the windup, he throws it. The right.
So that brings up the left fielder, Felix
From the
Grant,
lineup,
as
he's
he
on the
takes
way.
strike 1 on the outside corner. So
Ball 1.
Markey
1
DuBois filling up the strike zone early and often here in the top half of the second. But that one's a little bit too low.
That was ball
And then
2.
misses again outside and low. So now it's 2 balls, 1 strike. The 2-1
A
pitch.
swing. A
Swung on, and another line drive to left center. Going over is Sally Dobbs. She adjusts, bobbles, but makes the catch. And 1, 2, 3 go the Fishes
left
in
on.
the top half of the second.
That's one of the quickest recoveries I've ever seen. What a
Yeah, that
catch
looked like it
by
could have been
Dobbs.
trouble there, but very fortunate, it like bounced straight up for the tall Sally.
Nobody out.
So leading off the bottom of the second inning is Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, who fouls this one away, and he's now down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch and another foul ball, which is pretty common for Alex Gonzalez with his low contact stat.
From the stretch, Rosen.
The 0-2 pitch again, a little bit too high, a good take. But those hooks from Lisa Crockett, it's tough to lay off. They are really, really good. As that is ripped up the left field line, that's going to get down. This is maybe going to be extra bases. It's picked up and thrown to second base. Sliding is Alex Gonzalez, and save. A leadoff double, and he's thinking about going to 3, and he's going to get there. Is he going to try to go home as Mr. Clanky came off home base? No, he stays at third, so really heads up base running there as Kimmy Ekman was running over to help her teammate Lisa Crockett, who'd fallen over, and Alex Gonzalez takes a free base.
A swing.
And then first pitch swinging is Markey DuBois. That's going to get the run home, as it is a sacrifice for Markey DuBois, and it's 2-0 Bombers in the second inning.
I'd like to point out we have a blue background for Billie Jean Blackwood. I think
From the windup.
everything's okay.
The swing. A bouncing
Okay,
ball.
that's a
And
really
he
good,
finds
and
first.
if she was
He's
boosted,
out
that's a really bad hit for a boosted
Righty
Billie
third.
Jean. That's a pretty easy put out there, as she lightly taps it back to the catcher, who easily retires
Here's the pitch.
Billie Jean Blackwood.
The wing.
And then first pitch swinging is Hciii Thurman, but right at Kimmy Ekman. So 2 quick outs after the sacrifice. So the leadoff triple does come home to score, and the Bombers will have the top of their lineup when they come back up to bat in the bottom of the third. But we head to the top of the third, and the Fishes yet to record a hit. And down 2-0 here in game 2. They're looking at Nan Porter, who takes strike 1
He's ready now. The pitch.
to start this inning off. As she swings, and it's a little looper right at Alex Gonzalez, but he bobbles it right off of his head, and safe is going to be Nan Porter, so it goes down as a hit in backyard baseball, and that is the first hit of the day for the Fishes.
He winds and the pitch.
So with Nan Porter at first base and nobody out, we have our
Nobody out.
pitcher-on-pitcher duel here. Markey
And
pitching
the
to
pitch.
Lisa Crockett, as the first pitch is a little bit too high, and then the second pitch swung on, and that's going to get by Billie Jean Blackwood. And Nan Porter might be caught in a pickle now. Alice Gonzalez chases her down, so aggressive base running there from the Fishes. They were trying to take an extra base, but they get caught
Time out.
by Alice Gonzalez. And so instead of first and second, nobody out, it's just a runner at first with 1 out. And we get our first pitching change of the day, as Frances Bluer is going to come in to pitch. And Markey DuBois takes over third base.
Now pitching,
Frances Bluer only pitched 4 innings in the regular season with a 0 ERA.
Yes, and this is now already, once she records an out, it'll be her 6th inning pitched in the playoffs, as Mr. Clanky hits a little soft one up the right field line, but Billie Jean Blackwood came off the base again. And so it's another infield single. This time Lisa Crockett is not thinking about going second like Nan Porter did, So the runners move up a base on a little blooper up the right field line, and Barry Bonds comes up in first pitch swinging, but right at Alice Gonzalez, who throws to third for one. The relay to second, not in time, but oh my goodness, they weren't out at home. Lisa Crockett is now running home, and she's going to score. Was Marky DuBois off the base? I thought that was a sure out at third.
I would have assumed she was out, but
That was a ball. Break for it.
Oh my
was not
goodness.
called out. Uh-oh. Clanky's going for third. Here's the throw.
And here's a classic Clanky steal, but just the throw to
Nope.
third base, and then, oh no. This is a classic tactic in online backyard baseball, as Mr. Clanky cannot lose stamina, so he can just sprint back and forth
One
and
out.
tire out the defenders, but
Here's the motion.
the Bombers are not falling for it, and they just walk him back to second base. And then here we go again, another, are they gonna let him get third? No, they waited, and then they're gonna throw it back to the pitcher, and then back to Markey. Ooh. And the Fishes are really, and he's still going. He is, and it's the smart play by the Bombers here to just throw it back and forth, wasting as little stamina as possible. So it's 2-0 to Cheryl Reynolds with runners on first and second as a strike at the top of the zone. And again, Mr. Clanky is trying to get into a rundown and tire out these Bombers, but they are not falling for it. Marky DuBois holding on to that ball, as Mr. Clanky is still, oh my goodness, this is true gamemanship here. So it's a 2-1 count to Cheryl Reynolds after all that, and we'll see if Mr. Clanky does it again. Well, he doesn't get a chance to, as first swinging was Cheryl Reynolds, and that's going to get by Alice Gonzalez. Oh my goodness, so first, Marky DuBois was apparently off the base, and this time, it's not possible in backyard baseball, but it looked like it went right through Alice Gonzalez's legs. It looked like he was going to get there and get the out at third, but, and then here goes Mr. Clanky again. And Hciii Thurman is just going to hold on to the ball and wait for Mr. Clanky to get back to third base. So it goes down as a single for Cheryl Reynolds, as Hciii Thurman is waiting, and now throws it back to Francis. And Perry Marks is up at the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. And he swings and then hits a home run, but well foul. My goodness, if that was fair, that was a grand slam. So 0-2 now to Perry Marks, and he takes that fastball well above the zone. And again, Mr. Clanky is trying to bait a throw, but not falling for it are the Bombers. So 1-2 now. Francis Bluer already getting a little tired, having to work hard here in relief. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3, looking at the bottom of the zone. And stop me if you heard this before. Running home is Mr. Clanky, trying to tire out the Bombers, and they do not fall for it. So it's still bases loaded. Now it's Jorge Garcia who struck out his first time up at the plate. And our new routine this inning is Mr. Clanky running home, and holding on to it is Hciii Thurman. Throws it back to the pitcher, and we're ready for our second pitch. So 1-0 now to the first baseman. Is another pitch low, so it's 2 balls, no strikes. Hciii Thurman still holding on to the ball. Throws it back to Francis.
He got about 3/4 of the way down the line there. And looks like another pitching change for the Bombers.
Yes, as it seems like Sally Dobbs is going to come in. Francis Bluer goes to third. Marky DuBois goes to right field. And Veronica Lee goes to center, as the 2-0 pitch from Sally is a strike at the bottom middle of the zone. And here goes Mr. Clanky again. But no stamina has been wasted here by the Bombers. So if anything, if not wasting stamina, maybe just frustrating and annoying the Bombers a little bit, trying to play that mental game, as the 2-1 pitch swung on and lined. Horace Young is going over. He got a slow jump, but he's able to recover and make the catch. And so the Fishes score 1, but they leave the bases loaded. And so the Bombers maintain their lead, and they head into the home half of the third with the top of the lineup Francis Bluer leading things off. Lisa Crockett still on the mound, and first pitch swinging. That's going to get by the diving Kimmy Ekman into left field. Diving is the left fielder, but staying at first is Francis Bluer. So another leadoff single for Francis Bluer, and that brings up Veronica Lee, who had a single her first time up at the plate in the first inning. The pitch,
Low and
outside.
On first, nobody out. Ready now.
So 1-0 now to the now center fielder, and line to left field, ranging over and getting down, and then all the way to the wall. Heading to third is Francis Bluer. The throw to Kimmy Ekman. Safe is Francis. And safe at second is Veronica Lee. Another double for the regular season doubles leader. Her second of the World Series. And this top of the lineup, after struggling in game one, is back to firing on all cylinders as Lance Lambert takes a strike on the bottom inside corner. A good pitch there. And then swings, and this is a long fly ball to left center. It's going back. Cheryl Reynolds at the wall. That baby is gone. Forget about it. It's a 3-run home run for Lance Lambert.
Ball tracked at 407 feet. Well over the wall. It's 5-1 Bombers. They're really taking it to Planky Award winner Lisa Crockett today.
So Lance Lambert, who only had one home run all playoffs and was hitless in game one, now already has a 3-run home run and a single in the first inning to his name, as Sally Dobbs hits a home run but well foul, as she was looking to go back-to-back and get her first hit of the World Series, as she takes strike two. Boy, that came down a lot. That caught a lot more of the zone than I thought it was, as she swings and misses, and another strikeout for Sally Dobbs, now 0 for 6 in the series.
Lisa Crockett has 2 strikeouts today. Both of them were Sally Dobbs.
And that is a good batter to make sure you get out, as she is always a threat. She did have 5 home runs during the regular season, although she is yet to hit a home run in these playoffs, as Horace Young swings, and it's a towering fly ball. Running out is Barry Bonds, and he makes the catch in left field. He said, "I can do it myself." And that is the second out of the inning. And that brings up Alice Gonzalez, who had a triple in the bottom of the second inning and then came home to score the second run of the day, as he takes a strike on the bottom outside corner. So a much better showing from this Bombers offense, and kind of what you expect. You can't expect to hold them down the entire series,
Harry Marks.
as some defensive changes are made, and Perry Marks comes in to pitch, and that's a high chopper. That's going to be trouble for Barry Bonds. He has to adjust, stop the ball from going into left field, but safe at first base is Alex Gonzalez. So Perry Marks, he did pitch in the regular season. He had 22 innings pitched in the regular season, but he'd only faced 1 batter so far. So that was his second, and now his third, as Marky DuBois first pitch. It's a soft ground ball picked up by Klenke, and in plenty of time retires the side. So no harm done from that Alex Gonzalez single. But Lance Lambert hits a moonshot to left center, scores 3 in the inning. It's now 5-1 halfway through this game. And the Fishes, who showed some life last inning but left the bases loaded, they're asking the bottom of their lineup here to get them a few runs and cut this deficit, as Kimmy Ekman takes strike 1 at the bottom of the zone. And then ball 1, a little bit too tall for Mr. Ekman's daughter, playing second base now, as she swings, and that is a soft little looper that's going to drop right in front of Billie Jean, and she steps on first base, and that is the first out of the 4th inning.
Lance Lambert, who hit a home run bottom half of the 3rd, now on the mound. He had a .37 ERA during the regular season.
And you can see why. That's 2 quick outs now, 2 soft little ground balls that have not gotten past the pitcher or catcher. So that'll bring up the the number 9 hitter, or excuse me, the number 8 hitter, Nan Porter, who is now playing right field, and did have an infield single her first at bat, and she takes strike 1 from Lance Lambert, and then swings and misses. So now she's down 0-2. So Lance Lambert possibly only going to need 7 pitches to get through the inning here. And this is not necessarily what the Fishes wanted, but with the bottom of the lineup, and that is a line drive, but right back at Lance Lambert. So it is a 1-2-3 inning. And I know you can't ask much from the bottom of your lineup, but you wanted maybe a little bit more pressure and a few more pitches thrown from Lance Lambert there, but a very, very quick top of the 4th inning. And so Billie Jean Blackwood possibly boosted, but most likely not. It seems like that is corrected. She fouls off the first pitch and then swings, and that's a sharp ground ball, but right at Barry Bonds, who throws it over to Jorge Garcia. That had a lot of juice on it. I don't know. That's a little suspicious if you ask me.
Takes the stretch and the throw. The swing. Sliced it. 1 out.
So 1 out, base is empty. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Heidi Thurman, who is a CRK favorite and only a CRK favorite, as she hits this one right back to the pitcher. So Perry Marks has come in and done a fairly good job in relief with the bottom part of the lineup, but now he's back to the top. And Francis Bluer, who's 2 for 2 today, and now has 4 hits in the series. As we get a timeout.
Pitching change for the Fishes. Almost definitely a defensive change here with this timeout.
I would
No
think,
changes for the Bombers while this is going on.
which is a little surprising because CRK loves to take advantage of those opponent timeouts and make some changes. And it is Nan Porter, who I would have thought would come in, assuming Lisa Crockett is still a little tired, as her first pitch. And then her second pitch by Francis Bluer is lined up the left field line. Is that going to stay up? No, it's off the top of the wall. Heading to second is Francis, the relay. Not in time. Sliding in under the tag is Francis Bluer, as idling was Nan Porter, but backed up by the catcher. So staying at second was Francis. So a 2-out double, the 3rd hit of the day for Francis Bluer, and that brings up Veronica Lee, who fouls off the first pitch. Veronica Lee, the double machine. Already a double this game and had a double last game. But she's now down in the count 0-2 as that one clips the outside upper corner. So the 0-2 from Nan swung on in a high fly ball, ranging over is Cheryl Reynolds, and she makes the catch. So a 2-out double does not come back to hurt the Fishes. And we head to the top of the 5th inning. Fishes down 4. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters, and they need to get something going. They don't want to leave it to the 6th. As Lance Lambert stays in to pitch. And a bunt attempt from Lisa Crockett.
Interesting strategy.
I immediately in my head, I thought, you know, bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if that pays off, because I don't know if I've ever seen Lisa Crockett bunt before, as she fouls off that 0-2 pitch to stay alive. So we'll get another 0-2 from Lance Lambert, who sets and fires. And then strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. Another strikeout for the Bombers. And Lisa Crockett goes down looking.
I wouldn't expect that, like, they have a crazy bunt or something, you know. It was just a regular bunt attempt.
You know, I know it is a little bit of a cheese strategy to, like, do the bunt before the pitcher releases the ball to kind of delay the pitch. So I wonder if he just got caught, if HC3 got caught trying to do a cheese bunt before the pitch, but the pitch was.
But you can do that with any swing.
You could. I don't know. People love doing the bunt, and I've seen HC3 do that before, so that'd be my guess. We'll have to ask them in the post-game interview, you know. As Mr. Clanky swings at the first pitch, diving as Sally Dobbs stands up and in time throws to first base. So not what the Fishes need. That's 2 quick outs, and the bases are empty for Barry Bonds. It's coming up all bombers so far. As Sally Dobbs winds, fires, and that one is below the zone. So 1 ball to the left fielder of the Fishes. The 1-0. Swung on, and another ground ball. This one gets by Sally Dobbs, and because of that, safe at first base is Barry Bonds, a 2-out single. And that brings up Cheryl Reynolds, who had 2 home runs in the first game. And she can certainly cut this lead in half, pitching very carefully here is Sally Dobbs, as that one is well above the zone. And if you walk Cheryl Reynolds and you put 2 on, Perry Marks is batting behind. And Perry Marks certainly has the power to hit a home run, but he's not going to get the chance as, oh, maybe he will. Oh, my goodness. As Barry Bonds thinks of going to third, but goes back to second. That one was just, it bounced enough, and Cheryl Reynolds was able to sprint up the first base line. I thought that was going to be a for sure out, so Perry Marks is going to get an opportunity to really make this thing interesting as he takes a fastball too high at the top of the zone. So from 2 outs, nobody on to 2 outs, 2 on. A couple of infield singles here for the Fishes as Perry Marks looks at another ball below the zone. So he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
Ready now. She delivers.
Don't want to walk the bases full.
Ball 3.
And they're at risk of doing that. It's 3-0, and we're going to get another timeout here and another pitching change. So the carousel continues. We've seen all 4. Francis, Sally, Markey, and Lance, as it seems like Lance is going to get the call to come back in. Sally goes to center. Markey goes to right. Staying at third is Francis. And it is Lance Lambert. He's inheriting a 3-0 count to the threatening Perry Marks. And he takes all the way. A 4-pitch walk. And all of a sudden, it's bases loaded again for the Fishes. They didn't score when they had 2 chances the first time they had bases loaded, back in the 2nd inning or 3rd inning. And so they're going to ask Jorge Garcia to help cut this deficit, maybe even tie this game. The first pitch to Jorge, swung on, and that is, but right at Horace Young. A good hit, but Horace Young barely had to move. That looked really good off the bat. And again, the Fishes leave the bases loaded, and I wonder if that might have been the last gasp for the Fishes.
You know, Horace Young always seems to be right where he needs to be in the outfield. He's barely had to move, and he's made quite a few catches out there.
Speaking of right place, right time, Barry Bonds now playing left field, ranges over a few steps and makes that catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out here to start the inning. And Sally Dobbs looking for her first hit as the relay to the pitcher, and then first base, she's out. Oh my goodness. Sally Dobbs not hustling up the line, and she's thrown out on a liner to left field.
Back towards the outfield.
As Horace Young lines this one, and it was right at the right fielder, but it bounces off of his head. He's going to second. The throw, not in time. So a backyard baseball double, and it's a 2-out double, and that brings up Alex Gonzalez. A triple and a single already today. And he swings, and this is a soft ground ball. Lisa Crockett picks it up, throws the first, and a little bit closer than it should have been, but by a couple of steps, retires the side. So it's the last gasp for the Fishes. They've got Kimmy Ekman leading things off, an unboosted Kimmy Ekman, who will be followed by Felix Grant, Nan Porter, and Lisa Crockett. So going to need to do something crazy here with the bottom of the lineup if they want to extend this game and avoid tying this series. As Kimmy Ekman now has a 1-1 count. Lance Lambert fires inside, so 2-1 now. Kimmy Ekman looking for her first hit of the day.
Ready now, the 2-1 pitch. Swung on.
She swings, and a ground ball up the left field side, but Francis ranges over, throws to first, not in time, just barely getting in there is Kimmy Ekman, and that's at least a start. Your first batter is on. as Felix Grant comes up to the
From
plate.
set, pitch on the way.
Also 0 for 2 today. And he's first pitch swinging, and again right at Horace Young. As Kim Ekman might get doubled up here, she slides, but she is out at first base. It is a double play.
Double play, folks. Nan Porter comes to the plate.
And the Fishes are down to their last out.
The stretch, the pitch.
Boy, you said it, DOW. Horace Young has just been in the right place at the right time all day. As is this going to be ball game? Yes! Lance Lambert picks up the little doinker off of the bat of Nan Porter, throws the first in time, and game 2 goes to the Bombers. And this series is all tied up at 1 game apiece.
So, first game, the Fishes won 5-1, and now the second game, the Bombers win 5-1.
It is, and they both won at home, so both home teams end up scoring 5 and only giving up 1. So maybe we'll see the same scoreline when they play game number 3, which will unfortunately not be tonight. It was again only 1 game, and I think we're gonna have to wait a while for game number 3. I think it's not going to be until maybe next week. But that's okay, even though we'll have to wait for a Game 3 in the HL World Series. We've still got Little League World Series and Junior League World Series action for you coming on later this week on the Backyard Sports Center Twitch. So you definitely want to come back and tune in for that. So until next time, when we have more World Series baseball, this is Ben Bath Beyond and DLW2711 signing off. Until next time, baseball fans, have a good night.